Yeah, we're
Thing,
whores.
yeah, little things.
Okay. That's the point.
Benton Harbor City Commission meeting is in session. Honorable Mayor, okay. Mayor Pro Tem was just in, so.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll
Evening.
call this meeting into meeting into session. I'm going to start by having our invocation by Singleton, Commissioner at Large. I have our pledge to the flag. Joe Jackson.
Man. Flag of the United States of America. The republic for which it stands. Nation. God. Indivisible. All.
Uh, Clerk, if you could start with the roll call, please.
Commissioner Adams,
Present.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Present.
Commissioner Edwards, Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Henry,
Present.
Commissioner Isom,
Present.
Commissioner Singleton,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats,
Present.
Mayor Mohammed. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Calls for approval of minutes from regular minutes from August 7th, 2023. Been moved by Commissioner Henderson, supported by Commissioner Adams. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams, Commissioner Clark Griffin. Motion carried.
This brings us to accounts payable. Get approval for the accounts payable.
Support.
Been moved by Commissioner Henderson, supported by Commissioner at Large Singleton. Any discussion? Accounts payable. Commissioner Adams.
The answers to the questions of the last ones, but
Adams said she was from the last question she was asked. Anybody further? Hearing none, call for the roll, please.
Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Singleton,
Yes.
Adams, Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson, Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Yes. We do have an update by our county commissioner, Mamie Yarbrough. Thank you. Yes, it's working.
Good evening.
Evening.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats, Commissioners, community, I thank you for this opportunity. It's been quite a while. Oh, you can hear me? That's good. Okay, good. It's been quite a while since I've been here. Somehow we didn't have meetings for about 3 weeks. And I'd like to let you know that when there are 5 Thursdays in a month, we don't meet on the 5th Thursday, so we meet 4 times rather than 5. And I have a number of things I'd like to bring you up to date on. We had our tax sale, and I'd like to just give you some numbers. It was in the newspaper, but this is from the report that the treasurer did to the commissioners. And the tax foreclosed land auction was held August 3rd, and it was online only. This auction was for properties that had delinquent taxes for 2020 and prior. When the properties become 3 years behind, then that's when it's put into the tax sale, unless they come and make an agreement.
Back it up just a little.
Push it away from me. They have an opportunity to make an arrangement and make payments on it, and that takes it off the tax sale. So what we would like to let you know is that there were a total of 86 parcels were in the auction. 69 of those parcels sold for $1,538,853. The total minimum bid on the 69 parcels sold was $247,425. 26 excess proceeds claims filed was $700,740. Of the 69 parcels sold, 19 bidders were out of state. They were from California, Illinois, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. 16 bidders were in the state of Michigan, but outside of Berrien County. The remaining bidders reside in Berrien County. If you have questions, please free to contact me, not me, Shelley White, who is the treasurer. If there's some questions or further things you would like to know, please know that you can always get in touch with the Berrien County treasurer. And then the tax foreclosed land auction was held August 3rd. And then the 17 remaining properties will go to auction again on September 29th. You know, we always had a second sale. And this time, the minimum bid will be starting at $100 each property. I don't know if there are houses on them or what, but you can go online to berriencounty.org, treasure, and look for tax sale, and there are pictures. And it's real interesting. She gave email address. Let me see if I see it. To view the Berrien County auction, along with many other counties throughout the state, you can visit www.tax-sale.info. So just like we're listed there, it's every county, and there are 83 counties in Berrien County, and you can bid on these properties. So I don't know what they had left, but it would be interesting to see. I believe that's what all that I want to tell you about the tax sale. Oh, and if there are any properties left from this September sale, then it will be put up for auction, I guess, locally with an auctioneer here. So we'll see what, if there's anything left. I would like to let you know that the Berrien County Commission meets every Thursday. We meet at 8:35 a.m., and that's our committee of the whole. And we have presentations from our different departments at that time, or we, have discussions on different things we're working on. And then we go into committee meetings. We have 3 committees. We go into those meetings, and all these meetings are open to the public. You're welcome to come to listen. And in each one, you have 2 minutes to say anything you want. We don't go back and forth and discuss, but it may be our administrator is there, our chairman is there, where they'll put your concerns with an employee or a department, and someone will get back to you and in touch with you. So please remember that. I appreciate and I'm pleased to look up and see some people from our community. There are other people that come. We have some that come regularly. We worry about them if we don't see them. And so please take time and see what the county is doing. In all our communities, there's big money, great big money, and you need to have something to say about it, and you're welcome to do that. Because sometimes it puts things, I say things, and they say, we never thought about it like that. So your opinions and what you think or think should happen is very important, and I'm asking you to please come. Then I want to tell you about some social things that are happening. There is a pop-up concert, and they've been having them all summer, and it's through the Southwest Michigan Symphony Orchestra. And I want to let you know that on Thursday, August 24th, at the Dwight P. Mitchell City Park, 100 East Main Street, Benton Harbor, Michigan, at 6 p.m., there will be a pop-up concert. And it says, what is a pop-up? They're free. It's small outdoor concert events, about 45 to 60 minutes in length, performed at various locations and times. And then each concert features a small ensemble of up to 5 professional musicians. These informal, outdoor, and accessible public settings allow residents and visitors alike to enjoy a more personal experience with music and musicians. Attendees are welcome to bring their chairs and blankets. Families are encouraged to come with small children. Passers-by can stop and listen, even if only for a few minutes. Ticket pricing free and open to the public. Then I'd like to let you know there is a second concert at 6 p.m. on August 31st at the Ghostlight Theater, which is at 101 Hinckley Street, Benton Harbor, Michigan. It'll be a completely different group. They've been performing at the St. Joe Library, at the Lions Pavilion Park, at the Krasel Arts Center. So I ask you please to remember this and support this music that's going to be in our city also. Then on Friday, September 22nd, there's going to be a Pecha Kucha performance. And it's usually about 9 or 10 people. And it's just, Pecha Kucha is Japanese for tiny conversation. People will get up and talk for 6 minutes and so many seconds. They're slides and they change every 20 seconds. And the person has to talk and, to that. And it's been amazing. I've gone to many, and the things that people have collected or what they do or their artwork or sewing or meeting someone, it's all there. And I'm going to do it this time. So I'm asking y'all to come and so I can look out and see somebody. They've been asking me for a long time, why don't you do this? And I said, I don't have any pictures. And I have collected pictures and things, and the Krasel's going to help me put it together. And I ask you all to come and see about me. So that is my report, and I thank you for this opportunity. Oh, and I have, our new directories are out, and I will give them to the clerk. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that information. We have a presentation by the Laborers International Union of North America. Presentation. Laborers International Union.
Good afternoon. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Robert George. I'm the Director of Advocacy for the Michigan Laborers District Council, which is the state body for the Laborers International Union of North America here in Michigan. I'm here on behalf of Laborers Local 355, which represents Berrien County and Benton Harbor. This is my, I want to say, second time addressing this body. I've had the opportunity in the past to come before all of y'all to speak in favor of the responsible contracting policy that you are considering. Just some top-level reasons why this would be good public policy for the city of Benton Harbor. It increases transparency with how the city spends its dollars on construction projects. So there is building trust with community members. It is a policy that helps prioritize the values of the city, such as local contractors, contractors that pay a living wage, contractors that employ folks that are from here locally, and that have diverse workforces. It also is a policy that helps protect the city in the long term from unscrupulous contractors, contractors that might be looking to, cut corners on their projects, and so that it provides the city with good recourse and good procedures to be able to hold these contractors to account and move the city forward on its infrastructure needs. So I will stop there and just note that there are 17 communities in the state of Michigan that have adopted responsible contracting policies, the most recent being the city of Warren earlier this year. And I would love to see Benton Harbor join their ranks.
Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. You say this is the second time you've been here with a presentation before us. Is this the same union that our state rep has worked hard for? Okay, so we don't have a policy? And that's what's wrong. We need a policy. Thank you. Do you have a card that you could possibly leave with our clerk and make sure that I get it, please? Thank you.
I do.
Commissioner Henry.
So, Honorable Chair, with that being said, can we get that in resolution form?
Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
If we could, please, get that in resolution form to come before us, put together a policy, because as we can all see, the work that's been going on with the lead line projects throughout Benton Harbor, we look like a misfit piano as opposed to the work that I see going on in St. Joe. We've never been twins, and we never will be twins. But the very thing that these contractors came through here and took up, they were supposed to put the same substance down. That has not happened. And it's very unacceptable to me personally and those that I represent.
Yeah,
I
and this
think it's time we start doing things differently.
Yeah, and this policy would help ensure that the record of a contractor is taken into a firm account with city records, so that if a contractor does not perform at the level that the commissioner of the city would like to see it perform at, that in the future that is noted in the record and could be reflected in a scoring system.
And if I may add, Honorable Chair, this would be one way to make sure and ensure that those federal dollars that come down ensure that local residents actually get a job or some type of training to keep some of those funds within our own community.
Any other questions for the gentleman with the presentation? Thank you for coming.
Of course.
Do me a favor, leave 9 cards with clerk if you can. Everybody can have your information.
Yes. Of course, and I look forward to continuing working with the city commission. Thank you, guys.
Resolution.
This needs to be approved by so Commissioner Adams suggested that we do a resolution and approve it.
Like agreement. Followed legislative.
We can bring that through legislation.
No, it's been through legislation.
The attorney was
And
overlooking.
it's been kicked down the road quite a few times. And it is something that's beneficial to the residents. So I don't want to kick it down the road. The attorneys looked at it. We've all looked at it for months. Like a resolution We don't do it this meeting. Put it on the agenda for our next meeting.
What's the next committee meeting coming up next week? Wednesday?
No, I don't mean a committee meeting. I'm talking about a council meeting that we have some authority to do something.
It's already with the attorney. Chairman.
No, we're not gonna do that tonight.
Not gonna do what tonight?
Everybody gonna speak in their own time frame. If you have the floor, you'll have the floor. I'll give you the floor if you want the floor. But if we need to conduct business like normal meetings like we do at every other meeting. Commissioner Griffin.
I agree with Commissioner Henry. It has been sent to committees and it has been discussed, so it's time to take action instead of starting kicking it down the road.
Clerk, is there any way you can put that on the agenda for the next meeting? And hopefully somebody can vet it before that. Or if you have any questions, please contact before we enter into a contract. Yeah, we do have new counsel, so that's one of the said reasons why if you do have a new attorney, we want your new attorney to look at it. Trying to vote on something from the old attorney. And we'll all have time to speak on that. That's not even part of this. Commissioner Henry?
Had an attorney looked at it. Why should we pay another attorney, her counterpart, money to do this again? That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for us to produce a resolution and have a chance to vote it up or vote it down. It's already been by our legal. Our legal has already looked at it. We paid for that legal to look at it already. Why are we talking about going back to legal?
Businesses.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner Henry.
That was a question to you.
I didn't realize y'all trusted him that much. So maybe we don't need to do it. We'll just go ahead and bring it. We've never had a question about him representing us any other time, so you're right. Just bring it next week and don't even worry about even looking at it. So if we have any questions about it, then who do we contact? I'm asking if we have any questions about the contract from the attorney, who do we contact and talk to about it? So if we have a question about it, a legal question, the new attorney's gonna have to look at it anyway. She looks at every agenda item anyway. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
The city attorney looks at every agenda item anyway. So we're gonna pay her to look at the item anyway. So we might as well, I mean, it's just,
So we want to know that it benefits, Honorable Chair,
it's just the protocol.
benefit the community
But
as a whole.
if you don't wanna look at that one, give us a discount.
If I may, what I can do is talk to my counterpart who was here previously and see if he had anything in writing or if he had any issues with it. And if he didn't, I can represent that again to you, that I've talked to him. If you have questions, I can answer them individually. I don't necessarily have to reapprove it. I understand what you're saying. So I will talk to him and try to save the cost to the city of looking at the whole thing all over.
Thank you very much. I've, again, if you have any questions, feel free to talk to the city clerk, who will refer them to the city attorney. If you have any question with the document, then we're still gonna use legal. The city does have to be protected. Citizens' comments, please. Everybody who wants to speak, you have to sign in with the clerk. There's no raise your hand and we get up there. You have to sign in with the clerk. Sign in sheets up here on the table.
Dale Jackson.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
I didn't know you wanted me to lead in prayer. Next time I will. I didn't.
No.
I'm here tonight to report and talk about an amazing track meet that we had August the 12th, Saturday on 6th Street. It rained, and a lot of people thought it was canceled, but it wasn't. We had 30-some amazing kids that showed up. Miss Commissioner Henderson, you were former All Clear great. I think you would have been amazed what I saw. Matter of fact, I've been friends with Commissioner Singleton for so long, and he was shocked as well as I was to see what his grandkids did. We had other children that was going to come, but they didn't know what time the meeting was. I told them 7 o'clock. But anyway, let me get on with what I'm saying. I'd like to thank the fire department for helping me get that done on that street. They blocked it off. We had some ignorant people trying to come in, but they stopped them. But we got it done. But let me tell you about this track meet. Like I said, I was shocked, and Ron Signal was as well. Those kids turned that thing out. We saw some amazing running that I had never seen before in my 30-some years. We had some kids ages 5 years of age, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We had kids running with older kids. Trooper Burton, he directed it. We had children doing some stuff that ain't never seen before. Ron Singleton, his three grandchildren, stole the show with some old children. Commissioner Ison was there. Edwards was there. We had somebody taking photographs. Those 3 kids got all of them got triple gold medals. Never seen that before. What we saw, the little one that's 7 years old, she outran the boys. She was running 6 inches off the ground with both her feet. It's been photographed. That picture is all over Facebook. I had people all the way to New Orleans call me about who is that little girl. Let me tell you this. It was a treat. Who all wasn't there, you missed it. But Miss Henderson, you would have loved to see these girls. I don't know. If y'all just give me 30 more seconds. I don't know where or how, but you never know what a child can do unless you give them opportunity. That track meet is going to be held next year. We got so many people waiting on it on 6th Street. We're going to run the 200. But let me say this. I'm proud of them. I know Ron is. I can't stop talking about it. I don't think their mother knew this, but she do now. They got 3 amazing children that you don't know what they're going to end up doing. They may end up being doctors, lawyers, engineers, anything. But I am so glad. And I saw them when they was babies. I had no idea that they can do that. We have other kids did the same thing. But let me say this. The one that's 9 years old, it's normal for a 9-year-old to beat a 9-year-old boy. Miss Henderson, you know that. But that 9-year-old beat an 11 and 12-year-old boy. I don't know. But let me tell you something. It is my honor, my pleasure to tell y'all this. It's amazing. And I thank you for giving me this extended time. And I'll see y'all again next year. Thank you very much.
Spencer Nesbitt.
Wait, can you stand up and let them see the gold medals, please?
Please.
Yeah, let them stand up and see the gold medal. Let them see the medal. Stand up and let them see it, yeah. It's all right. Mr. Nesbitt.
Good evening. When I first started coming to the meetings months ago, at the beginning of the year, I made a statement that seeds were being planted. And they are. People are watching you all. And they are. And I'm going to say this, and I'm asking for a few more minutes because I'm going to need to explain myself. We're going along, we're having outsiders coming into the city of Benton Harbor, and they're coming here to help the citizens of Benton Harbor. There's a hidden agenda for them. Benton Harbor is a growing city. It's a city that is growing. People, they're riding through different neighborhoods, looking at your houses and things, going into your houses. They come by my house. My puppy and I was outside. They're saying, this is a beautiful home. It's in the wrong neighborhood. Well, like I told you, it's for sale. You can move by and move to Florida, right next to Trump's house. I don't care what you do with it, but it's mine. And I said that to say this. You know, they're talking about the cemetery. That's just a start. The seeds are beginning to surface the ground. And this is growing. And I take it as a threat because when they're saying that they're going to the city, the state attorney, and all the attorney general to see because the charter is not being done right, you're not reading or following the charter. That's not correct. They're using that as an excuse to get themselves into the door of Benton Harbor. The cemetery is one now. It's going to be something else tomorrow. It's going to be something else. So until we can unify ourselves and come together and become one and stop all the bickering and all the other things, the seed's going to grow. And one person is not going to be able to stop the growth of that seed. It's going to take a unity. It's going to take everybody together. We also have people around here doing the same thing. So I'm asking you, and I'm saying this, and I'm making this statement. I'm not a smart person. It takes 16 ounces to make a pound. I only have 2 ounces of brain. But I'm utilizing the brain, the part that I have, and it has taken me so far real good, and I'm doing the things I need to do. So I'm asking you all to stop the bickering, stop the fighting, come together and unify yourself as one, and let's grow and make this thing grow, because we're going to always have this fight. And it's a threat when they said that they're going to go to the state to get some answers because of the charter and it's not being done right. Why? Why would they want to look at the charter? They don't even live in Benton Harbor. They live outside of Benton Harbor. It's not driving 300 miles a month, plus or minus a few miles. I work in Grand Rapids and drive back and forth. It's not right. So I'm asking you, and I'm making this statement tonight. And you start thinking about things, the way it's going, and things are happening. Benton Harbor is sitting right on the water. They like that. They loves that. And they're trying to run you out. Let's stop doing what we're doing and start doing the things right and come together as one. And until we do that, we're going to always have problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nesbitt.
More comments.
Thank every citizen for every comment that was made. Right now, we're going to open up for the public hearing, which is amendment to downtown area brownfield redevelopment plan. This time we open up the public hearing.
what the amendment was?
Essentially, they are
Oh.
designating these two particular special district in order to qualify
Talking to Mike, please.
for brownfield funding. And they first go through this process of a public hearing, and then it's designated, and they're able to go forward with the brownfield process from there.
Properties of these.
The specifically, let me check.
What the amendment was through the chair?
The American Laundry Project,
American
Right.
Laundry.
227 Territorial and 218 Fourth.
That's correct.
Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I need to know what, this came before the Brownfield Authority Board, and I just happen to be a member, and I don't speak for the board as a whole, but we sent this forth, and it went through another committee, and now it's back before us. And I guess my question then was, how much a length of time? And I see the amount, is it a different amount than the 50,000 that I see on here? And how much of a length of time will be taken to pay back to reimburse this developer for his expenditures? And these are two parcels that sit side by side, right?
I believe they are. I don't know the exact timetable on it, but at this point, it's just a public hearing to establish a district.
Was he aware that this public hearing was taking place? Do you know what was amended? What in specific?
It's my impression it was just to add that second parcel of property, but I don't know for sure.
Thank you. Commissioner Henry.
Let's put some clarity that came out of committee. They have one property already in Brownfield, and these other properties that are connected to the one that's already in Brownfield has proven to be contaminated, and they wanted to put the other two in it as well. And that's where the amendment comes in.
These properties have been deemed contaminated by Brownfield or by, thank you. Other questions from the board before we open it up to
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Singleton?
just for the other two properties have been deemed to be contaminated also?
It's only two.
Only two?
Yeah.
So
And
one
the
they wanna
second one was deemed to be also contaminated, and by adding it to this, it's eligible then for the cleanup to take place and be funded for Brownfield and then recaptured from the tax revenues afterward.
do know that it's definitely, years it was, dry cleaning and some other stuff, and we found out later what all those chemicals are, and so I'm sure it's contaminated pretty good, so.
Thank you.
All right.
Commissioner Henry?
I want to make sure I understood that right. One property was contaminated and the other one was not?
No, it just was not in the Brownfield initially. And now it's
Both of
being
the
added.
additional properties are contaminated.
Yes, both properties are contaminated and will have to be cleaned up.
Sure. Adams?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'd like to just add that even if it's not contaminated, and it is, the brownfield laws have changed to where they allow us to do broader things now with, as it relates to development. So this is definitely something I can approve because that property has sat dormant down there for a very long time, and I'm glad to see somebody able to do something with it if it's not going to be torn down. What I do find amazing, though, is that they've come through the city and tore down something like the old OIC, but we're not, because it was usable too.
Thank you. This time we'll open it up to the public comments, public hearing concerning this property or the amendment. So, public hearing is for this said item. Going once, going twice. Public hearing is closed. Now we go to consent calendar items. Make a motion. Has anybody got a motion to approve the consent calendar items?
Make a motion.
Make
A
a
motion by
separate.
Commissioner,
Items to be separated.
all right, item be separated. There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
We need to
Well, we gotta approve it before we can separate it.
Motion to approve.
back out and do it right.
There's a motion been made by Commissioner Edwards. It's been seconded by Commissioner Adams. Now, is there anything that need to be separated?
2,
Separate
3,
number 2,
6,
number 3,
and 7.
and number 6, and number 7. Is there anybody? 2? 5, 6, and 7?
Yep.
All right, can you call the roll? Anybody else? 2, 5, 6, and 7.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Henderson, Commissioner Henry, Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Yes. First item of separation is number 2. Approval of adult use marijuana, Class C grow facility license for Noble at 900 El Rico Road. Was there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Been motioned by Commissioner Adams and supported by Commissioner Singleton. Any discussion? Commissioner Adams.
I think I'm a little confused because I thought that this was on our last agenda and was approved. It was for El Rico.
The last meeting was for the
declare-
special use permit. This is for the actual license itself.
Oh, okay. The actual license itself, okay.
Other questions? Call for the question, please.
For the question.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
No.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Henry,
No.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Abstain.
Can you tell us, Honorable Chair, why you abstain?
Same reason you should have.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry?
It's already been disclosed by the attorney and by this body. Matter of fact, I don't have to abstain if I don't want to. It's a clear right of my
What are
vote
we
to
missing?
do. Thank you. Number 5.
Honorable I'm sorry. Anything you said.
Resolution to approve.
What is the reason why you abstained, Honorable
What is the reason why I'm abstaining?
Chair? Absolutely, sir.
Because of conflict.
Conflict of interest?
Yes, ma'am. Now,
What we missing?
my legal parameters now would suggest that those who have not abstained and have conflicts, should we call the roll?
With no vote?
With any, if you take part of any type of that community
Oh,
and you abstain and
wait a minute.
you voting on it, you should abstain.
Wait a minute.
We're gonna move to 5. We'll handle that though.
Okay, I have a question. We haven't voted yet.
We did vote,
Did we?
It was already
Oh,
clear,
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
but
Wow.
we will be handling that one. Y'all remember that? Put that in your back pocket. Let's go to the resolution.
I
Stick
need-
to the
I need
agenda.
hear it.
Resolution to approve plumbers and environmental services to providing televised and cleaning of the city wastewater sewer system.
So
Okay.
move.
Has it been moved and been supported by?
Well, yeah, I did want
I apologize. You skipped 3?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, we'll go back to that one. I thought you said
3.
all right.
Oh.
Can we have order? I mean, we're getting beside ourselves on here. Resolution number 5 is resolution to.
3.
We're gonna go to 5, then we're gonna go back to 3. I apologize. Let's do it like that.
Right.
We've already put it on the floor as 5. Resolution to approve plumbers, environmental services to provide televising and cleaning of the city wastewater sewer system.
So move again.
Didn't ask that one to be separated.
Second. That's already approved, wasn't it?
No, did you separate that? You said 3, 5, 6, and 7, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Went so fast that you called, I know she called 3, but then you called 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
It was
3,
2, 3, 6, and 7.
Okay, it's separated. You can vote on it.
All right.
But you've called it. We can have a brief discussion about it.
Any
Motion to
discussion?
approve.
Motion approved, been made by Commissioner Adams,
Support.
supported by Commissioner Singleton.
Okay, so
Commissioner Adams.
thank you, Honorable Chair. I remember, oh gosh, was it last year, earlier this year? We had a discussion about this, and Abby Marsh brought this forward, and I thought that it was something that we approved already. So is this more? Because I know that there are more systems throughout the community. I mean, it's a large system, so is this a separate area from the last one that they're doing? Or is this something for the community as a whole that they're going down into the system? Because I think they did some of this with the SALT grant funding, what, 6 years ago?
Thank you. City Manager Mitchell, can you explain that?
Yes, Mr. Chair. It was an item that was discussed, was not voted upon.
Item that was discussed, not voted on. Commissioner Henry.
Yes, there was some money in the SAW grant. And there was a small, very small percentage that was done. We all thought that we had a lot of pictures of our sewage. And later on, we found out that we didn't. So now, I believe if it's 100% of our lines will be viewed. If that's incorrect, please let us know.
It won't be 100%. It won't be.
What percentage will it be? Because 10% with the SAW grant of $1 million or more and we only got less than 10% video camera of our sewage. So what will this grant provide?
Don't recall the exact percentage of what it would cover, but it will not be 100%.
Did they say what areas they were gonna cover? You recall that?
Entire area.
Richard?
No, but I'll get that information for you.
Voting for it.
What is it?
Ms. Singleton,
Mayor Pro-
Yeah. Commissioner Isom, I'm sorry.
this did come through Personnel and Finance. It's 10,900 feet that it's gonna cover. It's gonna be the Empire area. And this plumbers were the lowest bidder too, if I'm not mistaken, Clerk Moore? Correct.
Could you repeat that last thing you said?
Plumbers was the lowest bidder for this job. And they'll be televising 10,900 feet sewer system. See what repairs we need or
Whole Empire?
area. I don't know the whole Empire, 10,000 feet.
Did they cover the hill?
Come on,
Did they cover the?
Commissioner, can you allow for them to answer the question, then speak, then give somebody else an opportunity? It's not a court hearing. So if you can let them speak, then so we can kind of get we're listening too. We're trying to figure out what's going on. Thank you. And that Commissioner Singleton has not spoken, then Commissioner Adams.
Thank you. Yeah, I did attend the committee meeting and understand that this also need to be done because of the grants that we're applying for. Is that correct, Mr. Manager?
That is correct.
Yeah. As usual, time sensitive too. I think the people that's giving the grant want to make sure that you have but as you say, shovel ready. They want to make sure that that you need it. So we don't have that video. I think, did he mention something about cleaning too? Yeah.
The work that we find when we're doing the videoing is the question.
Yeah.
You will recall that they set some dates.
Mm-hmm.
They set some dates for us to follow on the ACO.
Right.
Okay, but we came back and explained to them when we go into the videoing, there'll be some work that will have to be done, and we won't know what that is until we finish the video.
Right. We if we find something that would preclude us from making the deadline,
That
then
is
that's
correct.
yeah. So the video need to be done. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm reminded of Evan Marsh coming before us, and the discussion was from, I guess I'd really like to know what this 10,900 feet consists of, because they were stating that they wanted to do Empire from Colfax down to the river. I think the whole Empire needs to be done because the taxpaying residents drive their vehicles down Empire and it's bad. Some of them come into this community with their ships and drive down our streets, and that's another thing that legislatively and with some type of policy that we need to handle as well. Not only with those that come in with their big boats that weigh so much, but these semis as well. I think that it's time that we look at Empire as a whole, not just where they come in off Colfax off the highway and drive down Good Street that we fixed, and we're left with the potholes. Either they're gonna fix the whole thing, okay, and my last question, this is a question. That was a statement. Because it's unacceptable for them to do just from Colfax, Empire from Colfax down the hill. It needs to be all the way to Pipestone, actually. Pipestone all the way down to Yarborough Park. That's what needs to be done. The $28 million from the SRF funds, this is totally different. I'm assuming through Mr. Mitchell through the chair. This is totally different from the $28 million that we are applying for or looking forward to do some other sewer work throughout the community.
Can't answer that
Why?
because I don't know.
Oh, Lord, we in trouble.
No, you're not in trouble. Not
Thank
just
you.
I think it's
because
different,
I don't
though.
know.
I think it's different funding.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you get that back to us, Commissioner?
We'll get that.
To make sure
We'll
we'll,
get that information for you.
thank you.
And how far, if in fact through the chair, it's Empire as a whole,
No.
Pipestone to Yarborough Park? Anything else is unacceptable?
I just want to add that the presentation I heard did talk about from that south side there, Pipestone, and they said some of the main sewer lines that fed back south, came through there and stuff. So from what I heard, it would address that. Yeah, these are hydrants.
Thank you, Commissioner Singer. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Adams?
Aren't we tabling this item? Do we get some answers?
Nobody said table.
We are under a time frame.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin? Commissioner Edwards?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson? Commissioner Henry? Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Bring us to the number 3, the acceptance of Michigan Department of Transportation Surface Transportation Program Grant Contract number 23-5310 for the Pipestone Road improvements. Mind you, this is a grant.
Don't move.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Singleton, been supported by Commissioner Adams. Any dialogue on this?
I just want clarity. This is from Pipestone Empire to M139? Or right there to the crossroad of the Y? Right there on Pipestone and Milton?
City limits. Yeah.
City manager.
To the city line, isn't it?
It should be to M139.
Not to the 139. The city line is not to 139.
Yeah, right there where the old tracks used to be. That's
Whoa,
yeah.
okay.
Right to the tracks. They're gonna level it and make it supposed to be.
Right.
Commissioner Henry.
If everybody knows where the line is, there's been a hump there for years. Guess what?
They're gonna take it out.
They will fix that. That's the end of the line right there, Commissioner.
They're gonna take the hump out. Call for the roll, please.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Yes.
Carried.
That brings us to number 6. Again, approval submission of a grant,
Motion to approve.
application to fund the Bobo Brazil Community Center repairs and program operations. It's been moved by Commissioner Adams, supported by Commissioner Griffin.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, I'm
It's
so,
okay.
I thought you had your hand up. All right, I apologize. Any,
For discussion.
Commissioner Singleton, support. Any discussion? Discussion, Commissioner Griffin.
I just want clarity through the chair, Mr. Little, who will be operating the armory and what kind of programs will be in there?
The city would be operating the armory once it's, the capital improvements are made and the programming is put in place. And the kinds of programs would be the basketball courts, again, restored where youth can go in and play basketball. We intend to try and design some programming for elderly citizens to come in and play checkers or do whatever kinds of things they might want to do, some classroom type stuff, and some other kinds of activities designed for young kids.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. So my questions are, I think it was last year, well, prior to us purchasing the properties that was on the foreclosure list this year from the county.
Mhm.
We purchased some properties last year, and Mr. Little mentioned that we had purchased some properties along where Bobo Brazil Center is. Is that remaining true? And if in fact it is, do we own all of that property? Because I recently just saw two county signs up on the hill from the armory that I'm thinking that we already own, so why would those signs be there? I'm looking at the bigger portion of the picture, whether I'm here or not, before the future generation behind me, that hopefully that they can do something like utilizing the labor unions to go down into the earth and start building off on their armory onto the other parts of the armory and make something even more glamorous to do even more things in the future for themselves. So I'm hoping that we're looking long-term at something like that, at possibly owning all of that, all the way from Cass, all the way to Highland, once that other house is gone, because it will be one day. So do we own all of that except for that house?
The answer is that there were 4 key parcels up on the Cass Avenue side of it. One, the home is privately owned. We last year acquired 1 parcel that left 2 parcels up on top of the hill that we wanted. They came up for sale this time, and we're just now acquiring.
Okay, thank you. So I remember, I don't know what it meant, and I never knew what he was doing. Mr. Harris, emergency manager. There was something, I think, I don't know if a street used to come the alley used to come all the way through there or what, but he did a, what do you call that? The same thing he did to the street. He vacated the alley. What does that mean? Does that mean that the alley that's existing from that property can be utilized now from the armory? Okay, we won't get into that right now. Let's stick to this right here, because what we're looking at now is that I would personally like to see something else differently done with the armory, because the city has not been good stewards of their own asset. From what I've seen in the 23 years that I was back here and it was open, prior to my arrival in September of 1998, there was $1 million and something put into the armory. There was a event held there in 2000, and that money was spent there, and you can't tell me that amount of money was spent in that armory, because it was foul. It was really foul, and that was less than 5 years that someone had obtained $1 million point something for the armory to be remodeled or something. And something, we just shouldn't sit back and say nothing and allow something like that to happen again.
I absolutely agree. We should not allow something like that to happen again. Just as a reminder, when I came in the door coming back, one of the problems I had to resolve was that the city had also spent $100,000 of CDBG money the prior year without any prior approval. And that we resolved and went forward. But at this point, you'll recall when we were hearing the constant concerns about opening the armory back up, and the fact that it's needed to service the people of that section of town because there's nothing else for them. That we had said then, when we couldn't open it at that time because HUD would not allow us to spend the money unless we had something that would enable it to stay open, programming and so forth. And we didn't have that. This grant affords the opportunity not only for us.
Point of order has been called by Commissioner Henderson. And after we call point of order, all debate is to cease until the point of order is clarified.
We're talking about the armory. Speak into the mic so we can hear you, please.
The item being discussed, though, is the approval of the submission of the grant. So this is to approve the submission of the grant. There's been a lot
What
of
grant?
conversation for the Bobo
He's going to get to it if you let him,
Armory, but there was
because
But
we
po-
want to know what the grant is.
Point of order has been called. When point of order is called by Robert's rules, all debate is to cease until the point of order is clarified. That's the rules. Is that correct? All right. So point of order has been called. And the clarification is that we're speaking to what? Could you call the point of order?
Point of order, the conversation should be around the submission of the grant application to fund the Bobo Brazil Community Center repairs and program operations. There was a lot of conversation around everything else but that. So we need to respect everybody's time. The staff who's been here all day, the residents who's here who want to hear the information, we need to stick to our point of order. Thank you.
If I may.
There's been a lot of conversation
If I may.
outside of that.
If there was a Planned Economic Development Committee meeting, we probably could have had all of these discussions.
It was.
This was on the
Point of
Personnel
order.
and Finance Committee meeting,
Point of order.
and it was discussed in depth.
Point of order has been called.
We knew this was coming up years ago.
Point of order.
So can we
Can you,
get,
can you explain your point of order?
Point
Debate
of
is to
order
cease.
is Commissioner Adam is speaking and she has the floor and she should not be
What?
interrupted. And also she can, when we ask some questions, if we got a question, we all see what the agenda is, including the resident. She can ask whatever she needs to ask and comment. Everybody else does it.
Well,
my time is valuable to me as well.
well, just point of
We
clarification.
here till 10 if we have to be. Won't be the first time.
Well, hold on. Point of order here. Point of order.
So can
Let-
we,
whoa. I would suggest to y'all grab that little book call Robert's Rules of Order so you'll know what happens when certain things are said.
So let's get back to the
Instead of,
submission of the grant. How much is the grant?
Yeah, we're using it tonight.
Mayor,
Now,
can you tell us more
Commissioner
about the grant?
Henderson had the floor.
Tell us about the grant.
Then, Commissioner Henderson had the floor, what you call point of order. That means debate ceases. We're gonna do a quick little one-on-one. Then after debate, after she clarifies her point of order, then the chair can move forward or deem that it was true, all right? So then we're gonna go on and have Mr. Little talk about the grant application. Let's stick to the grant application. That's, if y'all want to talk about something else, then call for suspension of the rules and put something else on the agenda. Thank you. Now, Commissioner, I'm almost calling you Commissioner now. Mr. Little has the floor.
We're preparing a grant to submit for $2.5 million, of which about $1 million is expected to be for capital improvements. The remaining $1.5 million is to cover operations, and we're going to try to have that for a 2 to 3 year period to give the city time to regain its footing, to be able to sustain it and continue to carry it forward. And
I'm ready.
now,
Anybody else? I'm sorry, Commissioner Adams.
Thank you for that clarification, and I was hoping that it didn't have anything to do with the 3-point something that we got for Hall Park, since we were working, trying to
totally
put
different.
things together. But this is wonderful, and I think that now is no greater time than to actually bring Manchester Bidwell on board. Thank you.
Thank you.
On for the question.
Thank you. Question has been called. Could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Edwards?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry? Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats?
Yes. All right. Number 7 is the approval of temporary use of opera funds to support CDBG activity.
Motion to approve.
Been motioned by Commissioner Adams, been supported by Commissioner at Large Singleton. Is there any debate? Thank you, Commissioner Henry. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Griffin. I apologize. Just looked down there, seen a flower up. I didn't.
Through the chair for Mr. Little, can you tell me why these funds wasn't being used, and also what are the CDBG activity that we will be using the opera funds?
All CDBG activities. What this is about, you will recall just recently, once again, we got a letter from HUD about not meeting the spending goals. The spending goals, simplest way I guess to say it is, we just received the grant for program year 23 of approximately $400,000. We've got around $300,000, $350,000 carrying over that were not spent previously. And we have this requirement to have spent 80% of all money available by May 2nd of each year when they do that's a deadline for them doing their analysis to see where we stand. We've not done it the previous couple of years, and they are pressing us to see that we get there on the spending. That means between now, or may as well say the 1st of September, because August is almost gone, and May the 2nd, you got $700,000 to $800,000 to spend. And the only way you're going to do that is spend about $100,000 a month. So we're going to be ramping up very quickly to try and do that with another sidewalk program. We're doing everything within our power to get a demolition program going and underway. The other normal programs, rehab and community food nutrition and so forth, will still be operating also. And that's more money than the general fund can handle because it gets paid first. And then once it's paid, as soon as we do a draw, we're able to draw it directly from the federal the next day after the draw is completed. We can get it right from the Treasury to put it back. Now, I should take this opportunity to mention you may have that same thing coming up with Ox Creek because of the huge amount of money involved down there.
Okay, thank you. You answered the second part, but the first part was why were they not being used?
Why was what not being used?
Funds, because you said, I know we weren't in compliance with HUD, and HUD is rushing us now to do it. Why wasn't they being used? Because we had plenty we could use it on.
It's more than a matter of just having things to use it on. If I might just take a moment to counter, because I know you came on later. Onto the commission, yes. When I came on, which was October 2020, there was no one in the office. There was nothing to help with. I had to spend time trying to figure out what had to be done and get in position to do it. About the time I was near getting ready to start putting program together, the office flooded. So it was April of 2021 before we were able to even submit to HUD what they required for a release of the 2019 funds, because you had unspent 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019 had been approved, but it was frozen. So none of that money had been spent. Once we got the office dried out and opened up and it was like almost June when we got the 2019 money freed up. For those of you who are here, you will recall the last item that we had to deal with was a commitment to HUD that we would provide general fund money to help operate that office, because they said in no uncertain terms, the 20% of $400,000, which is only $800,000, or rather $80,000, was insufficient to be able to manage that office. So by the time we got the 19 money released, it was time for we received the 2021 grant. So at this point, we had somewhere in the neighborhood of between $2.5 and $3 million unspent. And spending it now means just as it is right now. Somebody writing up and getting the grant executed. There's nobody else there to do that but me. Then setting up the process and meeting with the subcontractor and showing them what you want them to do, and then even preparing the document for them to submit to draw down to get the money back, from you. I had to do that. So we got started in the balance between 2021 money being available and the end of the year. The caper had to be done, which had not been done in 2 years or better. The new grant had to be, in fact, not the new grant, a 5-year grant had to get started, which we had to do. So the point I'm making is, and I explained the same thing to HUD because they tended to forget too, that all of this stuff, including money from 15, 16, 17, and the 15 money was about to lapse. Lapse and mean they take it back. So we spent the 15 money. then went on to the 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And at this point, we've still got some 18 money left, 19, 20, 21, and just got the new one.
Commissioner Adams?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Can we get a total amount of how much all of that is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and we were looking at 100,000 a month, but I get the, I've been
Yes.
on enough boards to know how the reimbursement
Yes.
works. And if we don't have enough in our general fund,
Right.
then then the money is there and we need to keep going.
That's right. And
So-
we,
So, and I'm going to ask this, moving forward, and I'll probably bring it to whoever's committee, whether it be legislation, plan economic development, and finance, but now that we have a plan for this armory, I'm hoping that we can utilize the 15% that we're supposed to be using for education out of that block grant money to help to pay someone to help with the programming of the armory. But I get it. I get it. And to have an amount of, you say 16, 18, and whatever other years, send us that amount, please.
we'll
And
do that.
going back to the HUD, they are requesting some things that I remember some of us have requested, and that was basically a listing from Southwestern Michigan Action Agency, and what they've completed, and those addresses, because it would be nice to ride by and see exactly what they've done. I mean, just talk to the residents, just how were they, just getting to know community and knowing that our people are satisfied. But they want a report just like we should get one. Thank you.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes, sir.
I apologize, I seen the hand. I didn't know it was hand raised. All right, call for the roll, please.
Commissioner Henderson? Commissioner Henry? Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin?
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats?
Yes. Is that it? Brings us to the report.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules, add to the agenda.
I can make a motion to what?
Suspend the rules to add to the agenda. We ain't moving nowhere. We ain't went nowhere.
Make a motion. The calendar's already done, I thought.
Supposed to do it before the consent calendar.
All right, go ahead. No problem.
All right. Because the consent, you can't add to
Go
the
ahead.
consent
No
calendar.
problem.
All
No
right,
problem.
thank you. Appreciate that. Report from staff. City Assessor.
Good evening. I don't have anything to report now. Quiet right now. Still working on field work. That's it.
All right, beloved attorney.
So, as you know, I've been here 2 weeks. I plan on having a report to you for the September 5th meeting. So what I've been working on. I haven't yet, but I think we're starting to ramp up. And I want you all to know what I'm working on.
Thank you. Beloved City
Yes, sir.
Economic Development Director. Little.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to just take the opportunity to kind of remind you all that back when this coronavirus thing started, or at least I started hearing the monies that were going to be available, I told you then, having been through this before, what to expect. And that was that once the initial process got started of them putting out grants, we'd get about halfway and there'd suddenly be a big rush. And that's exactly what's happening. No city, county, or state wants to be responsible for turning money back to the federal government. So what's happening now is grants are coming out by the week, and you're looking at them and trying to pick through to decide what is it we can go for and make sense to go for, and some that might be nice you just look over because it's the small one requires the same amount of work as the big one. And we're trying to get the position in, get the city in a position to take as much advantage as it possibly can out of this once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. When I'm mentioning here the grant we're working on for the Armory, I just want to remind you that I've also indicated to you that we're working on trying to secure a broadband fiber optics grant to put together a community-based, city-owned operation, and that part of the office space and other space in that armory will also be dedicated to that, or at least that's a plan of operations. So, and that was in place even before because that would have provided the means we were talking about to have somebody pay the utility bills, the insurance, the security, and all that stuff. We never had anybody in there to pay before. So this just works beautifully if we're successful in doing both. But it's very important to just remind you, all of these things are going on at one time, and still the administration of the ones that we do have is also going on because, and we've got people from, like today, we had University of Michigan people here meeting with us on the plan for putting together housing to deal with the vacant lots and so forth and trying to get things moving there. At the same time, we've got a deadline of September 30 right now to complete some requirements for the Project T development. We've got all kinds of things going on and very limited staff to get any of this done. And basically, for the most part, limited staff just about means me.
Thank you for all your hard work and determination. We do appreciate everything you do for the city of Benton Harbor. Good to see our great chief here tonight. Chief McGinnis.
Keep it short. Just a reminder, we have quite a few things coming through public safety, legislative. Hopefully, we can be mindful of the agenda for September because we're coming back. Remember, we promised you a report for all the information, resolutions, and information on all the things that we are recommending. We're coming back with Chapter 7 ambulance, Chapter 11 building code, Chapter 17 fire prevention. Additionally, let me say this. We all know that we've had some issues with code compliance that we're fixing. A lot of these things are fundamental, foundational issues. I just had a brief conversation with our new attorney about getting back to hours of operation discussion. I think everyone in here has had complaints about Main Street, 202, wings and things. But we're moving in a good direction, code compliance. Got Mr. Bennett, who's now we're making some good progress. So I would just remind humbly to Commissioner Henderson items from public safety. Thank you, Honorable Pro Tem and Commissioners.
Glad to have you. City Manager.
I'd like to have the ladies speak first, if you don't mind.
Clerk,
Thank you. I have no report.
I got you.
With all due respect to Mr. Little and his one-man operation, that's not the only shortage of staff in this city. The entire city is short on staff. So we're all doing double, triple duty.
All right. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'd like to make this statement. I'm beginning to believe that we are scared of the committees that we appoint. How in the world can we get an email from the state of HUD that says that the Benton Harbor Housing Commission has lost total control of Harbor Towers, and yet 11 days later, we let the same ones that say it's out of control come back and tell us they got it fixed, but we haven't even talked to a resident yet. I'm a resident, or was a resident, and I'm going to say this again. I was a resident of Harbor Towers, and I told everybody what the problem is at Harbor Towers. We had our fire marshal go over there. They didn't respond to him on time. He went over there. He suggested that Harbor Towers need to be done like Lakeview Terrace. Take every resident out, put them in a hotel. But Harbor Towers came back and said, no, we got this. Then by me keep putting pressure on them, Harbor Towers turned around and evicted me. So you sitting up here again, I'm going to say this again, you're sitting up here and you're looking at a homeless commissioner. Now, after I kept putting pressure on them, then they turned around and barred me from all of housing property in Benton Harbor. Now, if I am a low-income resident, tell me where I'm going to get an apartment at. Now, after all this and we say, hey, they done lost control, how do we sit up here and let them come back and evict people over there and the elevator still don't work? There's still a lady in a hub around that's only one elevator work when it want to, and if that elevator is closed right now and she fall out and die, what we going to say? I'm done.
Commissioner Henry?
Oh, that's hard to follow. All I can say is doing nothing is really unacceptable. So if we can't do anything for our constituents that are living under that kind of, then we all need to resign.
Commissioner Griffin?
Thank everybody for coming out tonight. And just to give an update what's going on in the 4th Ward, this Saturday we'll be having the 2nd annual 4th Ward Resource Fair. It's going to be from 12 to 4 at Morton Temple Church, 730 Walconda Avenue. We're going to have resources, about 12 different vendors with all kinds of resources for the residents. We're going to have a cleanup going on at the same time again, and prayer walks throughout the 4th Ward again. Raffles, giveaway, fire truck, just a lot of activities, something for the adults, something for the kids. So everybody come out. Anybody interested in helping with the cleanup or helping doing the resource fair, you can contact me, and have a good night.
Commissioner Henderson?
Pro Tem. Just like to thank all the residents and everyone who came out tonight, everyone who spoke and had comments about what was happening in the city or things that they saw. County Commissioner Yarbrough for the update of what's happening in the county and all of the approvals that we had tonight to continue to move the city of Benton Harbor forward in a positive direction, despite everything that was said or done there's movement happening in the city that's positive and that the residents can see and actually feel. It's not perfect, but it's still happening. Things that haven't happened in the city of Benton Harbor for a very, very long time. And I like to say to Commissioner Edwards, it's not okay what's happening at Harbor Towers, and I do concur. We do need to get to the bottom of what's happening there. If we need to shut that building down, we need to obtain the necessary permits to do so that people can have safe housing in the city, especially since there's such a lack of housing for people that have low income and decent housing for people that have low income in the city. So we definitely need to obtain the correct permits to get this place shut down, people moved out, so that those problems can be taken care of. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank the residents for coming out schedule to see how your local government is working and functioning for you or not. Because sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But we're trying. We're trying. And we're going to keep on trying. I know I am. I'm hoping that we, this elected body, gets an opportunity to have Nokia and whatever other entity that's going to be working with them on broadband come before us and answer some questions that some of us have. And I'm hoping that now that we have a certified code inspector, that person could be the very one to go over here and prepare the paperwork that we, this elected body, need to send to the state, HUD, federal government, and anybody and everybody else about our people over here in Harbor Tower. I feel Commissioner Edwards. But more evidently needs to be done because we don't know of any movement. But I would say he missed the mark this evening by trying to cancel council rules at the end of the meeting when it should have been before. But I'm saying that we need to have a special meeting for those of us that truly care to come and make a decision to send some letters to the federal government, to the White House, going over all heads. Straight to the White House and then the state and then HUD, or the White House, HUD, in whichever order. I had a resident, not a resident, but some family members that was down at a funeral, my sister-in-law, last week. And they were looking for an aunt, and so she happened to be over here. And I learned more than I knew or needed or wanted to know, that we have some elderly people that can't even walk, that live up there, up them stairs, that can't get down. Who cares? Water running through the walls and stuff? Who lives like that in America? We shouldn't need a fire to have to come through here to burn everything and everybody down to make anew, when we need to be fixing what needs to be fixed right now. Because America really doesn't even understand what the universe is issuing out to her, and none of us are exempt. Because the just, as well as the unjust, is got it coming. And yet we have our mouths to allow love to roll off our lips. It's sad. I have had a hard time sleeping ever since this young man said that he went in there and talked about, he was an ex-fireman from another community, had found his auntie over there. And they're trying to get me to do everything they can to get her out from over there. But she's not the only one yet we have love one for another. Everything isn't about a party, a good time in the park, dancing, hula hooping. We got people in other communities taking the benches out of the park. We see them flowing over here. The homeless people. It's about to get cold in a couple of months. What are we waiting for? We need to be doing something now. Thanks for listening.
Mr. Isom.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
Hallelujah.
Glory.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you for all the comments. Commissioner Yarborough, the update. Nesbitt. And I want to speak on an event Mr. Jackson had a couple Saturday ago with the track and field. That was nice out there to get the young kids involved in something like that. And you never know what that little event can do. You know, that can change their mindset, you know. And I can see it growing bigger and bigger through the years, too. Those your grandkids right there, yeah. He was proud, too. I can tell. He was good. That's something. And then we had the event yesterday at the Broadway Park, June Park. Nice event, you know, nice event. Just to see the people in the park, the kids playing, and, you know, basketballs, and, you know, just a good time in the park, and I hope we can continue to keep the park, sustain the park, you know, keep it right. And it's a nice park, so use the park. Use the park. Take your family there. They got a walking thing, can walk around so many times, it's a mile and all that. So, Poplar Avenue is open, I think. Poplar is open. That is good. That is good. And all these streets leading to Ben Harbor, you know, and just, you have Main Street, come from 94, now Pipestone, Empire going to get worked on. So, yeah, a lot of things happen in the city. I just want to say this about the library. You know, the rector had left, Kat. You know, she did a great job for 19 years. You know, she did a great job, and had a new adventure she want to go to, but it's lost. You know, she did a lot of events and programming there for the city for years. But I hear you, Jerry. Commissioner Edwards been saying this. And, you know, I don't know if people's eyes been blind. There was a young lady she wanted me to help her, you know, she was trying to get in the Thurgood Marshall thing. No. They showed her the pictures to move in. She seen me, and she said, can I move? Am I supposed to move in something like this? It had mold and this. I said, what is the housing commission? I don't know. I don't know if we put the. There was just one young lady. I can imagine how other people, what is we doing? We're supposed to help our people. Commissioner Edwards been doing this message, you know, put them out, you know, and he barred, and even Cass, the fireman, came and told us. I don't know. We get how long can we go until something happens? You know, commissioners actually hollering for help. Something. Thank you for listening. God bless you. God bless Ben Harbor. That something will happen. Help the people, you know, in city as a whole.
Mr. Singleton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Mayor said I can probably get a couple of minutes of his time. Probably need it. But I do want to talk about my grandkids, but I'm going to save that because I really do need to talk about this deal with the Harbor Towers, you know. And I known over the years that, and I'm just going to, you know, be straight up with it. There's been bully tactics used to, you know, own residents in those facilities that if they speak up, you know, they get bothered, you know, put out or whatever. And there's some things going on in there. That place is horrible. The fire marshal done been in there, inspectors done been in there. We done had water breaks, no heat, all kind of stuff done happened in there. They say the place is so infested with bugs inside the walls and stuff. You know, HUD came down one time. It was deplorable, you know. So they never seen nothing like that before. But yet, you know, we get these, we're going to take care of it. You know, they're not living up to what the mission of HUD says, to provide safe and decent, clean housing. It's not happening. You know, it's time. And it came through the committee a couple of times. You know, I asked that could we somehow get either that board and they can bring their executive director or whatever, but something got to be resolved. People cannot continue to live like that. We getting ready to go into another winter. No telling what might happen. Then we go, we fixing it, but they over there freezing, and you know, pipes might bust again. And then the elevators, yeah, definitely. I mean, that is just, you know, if I had a place like that, you know, it'd be condemned, it'd be closed up, you know. I'd be on the front page, you know. So it's something happened. I don't know what, but somehow, even when HUD sent a letter and said they done lost control of it, you know, and then you get a watered down letter back, oh, no, we haven't lost control, but I haven't heard a plan. I haven't heard of a satisfactory plan to address that. It's terrible. I don't know what we can do, but something definitely got to be done. People should not have to live like that, you know. So, you know, I don't know if we could bring them in, have them discuss whatever. We need to know something, you know. Just like the people did over at what it's called, Lakeview or whatever it is, you know. They moved out. They moved the people out, put them in a hotel for a year while they fixed the place up. They back home now in a clean and decent place, you know. So I don't know what, you know, but to continue to, you know, holler about it and do something, but we gotta, I guess, beat the drum harder or something. I don't know. Public safety issues, you know, this weekend, we got to talk to our folks about, you know, these parties. We can't just pop up and have a party anywhere and, you know, and then use the excuse ain't nothing to do. But, you know, this, you know, what happened was going on this weekend or was planned to go on, you probably, you know, it didn't happen. Maybe somebody's, you know, life got saved or something, but we gotta, you know, things got to be done decent and in order. So, you know, you just can't pop up. Say I'm gonna pop up at the park at 11:30 and you know, have a party and sell drinks. You know, it just can't happen that way. You know, give me a quick second. I want to talk about my grandkids. You know, you know, they definitely surprised me. I seen Shakari Richardson. You know. And my little youngest one, she surprised me. You know, the events was the 50, the 60, and the 100-yard dash, and they, you know, all three of them, you know, placed first in their respective age groups. And you know, we changed 6th Street, you know, into a modified track. They looked, it was they did a good job, you know, at the lines down, and Daryl worked overnight, you know, at the Jerry Kepin Company, you know, and they had me running around. We did, you know, the hot dogs and stuff. We wasn't gonna sell them, but they did such an awesome job that everybody ate free, you know. But you it was awesome to see those kids. Not only my grandkids, it was several other kids that, and they really enjoyed themselves. Had their little medals, and my grandkids came to the house the next day, and they went to slinging the melons around here, click, click. I think you probably heard some of them tonight. You could hear the clicking and clacking, and I wanted to say, hey, I'm trying to watch TV, but I said let them have their fun, And they did. They did an awesome job. I see some track stars. Hopefully they can get some scholarships or something. Save me and their mama some money. But those are some of the things that's going on. All the nonprofits, and community groups are just doing an awesome job of getting the community involved. So that's how this community gonna come back. It's gonna take everybody doing something. Thank you, Honorable Chair, for allowing me to talk a little bit over.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Everybody who's here tonight, we do concur that we have come a long way. We don't have as farther to go than we've come. Things are looking better in Ben Harbor as they ever looked before. I do Harbor Towers is an issue that we've been fighting for a long time. Even back when they put Wilson Cook over there with the fireplace and the dog, it was one of the best places in Harbor. They took pictures of it back in the day when it first started. I think that it behooves us more sooner than later. It only takes 2 commissioners. Say this. It only takes 2 commissioners to call a meeting. And back in the days of Dennis Knowles, you'll hear these words called subpoena powers. You have subpoena powers to subpoena people to come here before this body and put them under oath. This body does have subpoena powers. We are a home rule city. So we do have subpoena powers. You can check in your charter. We can subpoena and have them come under oath and talk to this body. Did you research that for me just to make sure you?
Absolutely, yes.
And just shoot me an email tomorrow after. It's quick, read, and we have subpoena powers. So unless the EFM did something, but you can't destroy that without changing the charter, and that would take the community doing that. So if by chance you decide to do that, make that move, I would ask that we bring not only the Housing Commission, but the housing employees, because there's been times where there's been conflict, seems like between the city and not the board, but the management says we're not their boss. So we can't tell them what to do. And so I would say we start floor by floor. And somehow if you have a handicapped person, why put them on the 4th floor anyway, 5th floor anyway? Why not make arrangements to move them to another floor where they can be habitable? But 5th floor is too high for somebody in a wheelchair when you have known elevator issues, have known fire escape issues. So these are things that need to happen more expeditiously than us to, as they say, kick the can down the road. That can don't need to be kicked. That can need to be lifted and thrown out as soon as possible. Then we need to find a better way. And see, that's why we have to be careful when we're fighting housing, and we need housing. You can't fight one and then say kick them all out, because then where do they go? So if we cannot better the situation, then you say kick them out, get them all out of there. Let's get them. I can tell you for sure, and I'm gonna let this go. I'm not gonna ask for. I want to talk about my kids, but I ain't gonna do it. Not yet. We find that. As Commissioner Henderson can tell you that we have one hotel in Benton Harbor. And for us, as city elected officials, to call when there are golfers who are being sponsored, who are not paying a rate for a hotel room, and charging local residents who have pipe break $400, $500 a night without giving a discount, and it's supposed to be a community hotel. I mean, so you telling them we got to take them out there to out here to leave a light on? What's that place called? Motel 6. I mean, you cannot do that and say that they're a community hotel. So there's a whole lot moving forward that as this body is developing, that people will respect City Hall. And as the chief said, code enforcement, whatever enforcement need to happen, people will begin to respect the city of Benton Harbor. But it's going to take us taking action for them to respect the city of Benton Harbor. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So just get ready, because I know, I mean, I was watching that boat trip, in Mobile, Alabama, and just seeing the actions down there. Very unfortunate that we've come that far. But a man was attacked, and the young man started swimming. And whoever he is, I would hope they can get him a scholarship somewhere. Because the way he was swimming fast enough, he should be swimming for Michigan or Michigan State University. But the city is moving forward. It's getting better. I'll see you Wednesday. We do have some things on the agenda that is prevalent and needed and necessary. And do pray for our mayor that he will make a speedy return, because I don't like filling in for him. And but we got to do what we got to do. Make a motion for the adjourn this
Motion
meeting.
to adjourn.
Been motioned by myself, been seconded by Commissioner Adams. Good to see you, Chief. Chief, you got somebody who wants to
Commissioner
want to see you
Yarbrough.
before you leave.
Commissioner Adams.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards.
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson. Commissioner Henry. Commissioner Isom.
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Yes.
Motion carried.
There you go.
More when you start talking to it.